happening, gang? It's your boy Retro back again with another reaction video. Yeah. So we got another huge update. Now you guys can probably already tell that it is going down. Just by that title alone, you guys are definitely going to want to check this one out. So we got President Trump calling out these loonies on the left, saying that Joe Biden had his 4 years to lead. So why won't they let him have his? We're now seeing 12 states coming together, joining forces in order to bring a massive lawsuit aimed at stopping Donald Trump's agenda, his efforts. Guys, I'm excited to get to this one, so we're not straight into it. All I ask that you guys please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And without further ado, let's get straight into it, folks. Check this one out.
Follows that a dozen states sued the Trump administration in the U.S. Court of International Trade in New York to stop its tariff policy, saying it's unlawful and has brought chaos to the American economy. So it challenged Trump's claims that he could arbitrarily impose tariffs based on the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. The suit asks the court to declare the tariffs to be illegal and to block government agencies and its officers from enforcing them. So this was multiple states in this lawsuit today, including here in Arizona with Attorney General, the Democrat, Chris Mays. This is how she explained why Arizona is party to this very lawsuit. Let's listen.
That a particular area, a particular issue affects us the most, or we have a lot of experience with that. Or our state has a particularly harsh impact from the action by the president. Some of it comes down to resources and who is at that moment in a position to file the lawsuit or to do the lawsuit. I actually did some of the planning for this lawsuit with Dan Rayfield when I was in Oregon at a town hall up there with him. About 3 weeks ago, we started talking about this lawsuit, and we both felt very passionately about it. You know, I know that our state is going to be dramatically impacted. I mean, I didn't mention this in my opening comments, but as soon as we started to get serious about this, and not long after the tariffs were announced, I started calling our utility executives in Arizona and surveying them about the whether or not these impacts are going to impact them and whether or not they are going to have to raise rates as a result of these. And while none of them wanted to go on the record about it, and we'll see if you can get them to go on the record, all of them, not a single utility CEO told me that they didn't think their utility was going to be impacted by this and that rates wouldn't go up as a result of it. So what do I mean by that? Well, some utilities still use wood for their poles. Wood comes from Canada. That wood comes from Canada. All utilities buy transformers. Almost all of those transformers come from Europe or Central or South America. Every utility uses, now basically every utility is buying solar panels. Where do solar panels by and large come from right now? China, which has, I think, at last count, 143% tariff on it, which is really essentially an embargo. I mean, you cannot import products from China anymore with that level of a tariff. So those are the kinds of real world impacts that our businesses in Arizona are going to face. I also spoke with the Fresh Produce Association, and we have a tomato industry that is vibrant in Nogales. That industry is going to be deeply impacted by these tariffs, especially the Mexico tariffs, and the worldwide tariffs, all of which fall under the IEEPA. His alleged use of IEEPA, which we allege is illegal to try to accomplish.
Okay, I made the mistake of reading 38 pages this morning.
Okay.
You admit there, and your colleagues admit, that there are circumstances under which trade imbalances can be addressed. Currency manipulation, which we know China's been guilty of, can be addressed through tariffs. So where exactly, given that he's talking trade imbalances, he's talking about unfair, and he hasn't specifically mentioned dumping, because that's also permissive for going ahead and enacting tariffs. So exactly where has he crossed the line, because there seems to be evidence of at least some of these things occurring elsewhere.
Well, first of all, a couple reasons. Number one, yes, you're right. There are narrow exceptions that in which Congress has delegated to the president or has allowed through statute for him or her to engage in tariffs. But number one, the president is not using any of those statutes to do these tariffs. He's using IEEPA. Number two, even if he was using those statutes to engage in these tariffs, there are strict parameters and prerequisites that he must meet before he does them. Number three, there are strict time limits on those tariffs that are in those statutes. So it's not really a mystery to see why he chose IEEPA to try to do these tariffs under, because it doesn't have any of those requirements. That being said, no president, and I think this is really important, no president has ever used IEEPA to try to impose a tariff. Why is that? Because IEEPA doesn't even mention the tariff authority. So there's no mention in IEEPA of the ability of a president to engage in tariffs. It's language that is largely referred to and used to engage in things like sanctions or embargoes, but nowhere does it say that he can use tariffs. And even if you assumed, and we do not, that IEEPA could be used for tariffs, it also has a triggering event that says that it can only be used for unusual and extraordinary threat. And then further case law says that whenever a president is engaging in tariffs, the tariff has to have some relationship to the threat or to the emergency that the president is trying to address. And there's no articulation in the president's executive orders and actions that draws a line between these insane tariffs and the alleged emergency that they are claiming.
Can you clarify, are these the lawsuit is against all the tariffs, or some of them are paused? So how does that matter or affect the case?
Yeah, so the lawsuit itself is against the what we call the IEEPA tariffs. And those tariffs are the Canada tariff, the Mexico tariff, the China tariff, and the worldwide tariff. Obviously, part of the problem here is it's an incredibly confusing patchwork of tariffs that he has created with this sort of herky-jerky on and off approach to doing them. But all of those tariffs are the tariffs that are being done under IEEPA, and those are the ones that we are challenging. Some of them are paused for 90 days, but some of them are not. And again, I think we have no idea what's going to happen in 60 or 90 days from now. But it's very clear, as Bill said, that businesses in Arizona are already feeling the effects of this because businesses have no idea how to plan. And they're already feeling the effects of the tariffs that have gone into place. So, yeah, it's those tariffs that we're challenging specifically.
I wonder how that might impact the case, right? If they
Standing and...
Well, I mean, again, there's tariffs that are in place already, and this case is probably, this is a case. Well, as you know, we filed it in the International Court of Trade. We've asked for a 3-judge panel, and we did not ask for a TRO, but we are asking for injunctive relief and declaratory relief. We'll see how long it takes, but that 90-day period is going to come and go very quickly. And again, some of the tariffs are already in effect, as I understand.
So you're concerned about the effect of the penguins on the island and the Indian?
Well, I mean, you know, the fact that he slapped tariffs on an island that has only penguins is further proof that the tariffs have nothing to do with any emergency or harm that he's claiming. I mean, what have the penguins done wrong? What did they do to deserve this? So, I mean, again, not sure what it has to do with anything, but in any case, the point is, while the penguins aren't going to feel the effect of this, Arizonans are. So, and that much is certain, and it's my job to protect Arizona.
Yo, there we have it, guys. Oh my goodness, that was Arizona State Attorney General, one of the 12 states that are bundled up in this massive lawsuit aimed at stopping Donald Trump's agenda, his mission on the tariffs. And I just don't understand their aim. This is more blatant waste of taxpayer dollars in order to bring about bogus lawsuits aimed at Donald Trump. This just goes to show that these folks care more about taking down Donald Trump, stopping his mission, than they do about Americans, our well-being in the long run. I mean, these loonies on the left seriously keep trying to push the point and say that the United States should act as a global doormat, essentially letting all these other countries slap us with outrageous tariffs while we have our hands tied behind our backs, not doing anything about it, not saying it. No, we need a true leader. That's why we voted in this man, Donald Trump, do exactly what he's doing. He's bringing back fair and free trade on the world scale, including the United States, because it seems like we've been left out of that for quite some time now. I don't know where these states get off. 12 states now bundling up lawsuits in order to come after Donald Trump, his mission. Would they step aside, guys? Definitely hop in the comments section. Excited to hear what you guys are thinking. Comments are open now. Hop in there. Let me know your thoughts. Also, make sure you guys please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you did enjoy more content like this, catch you guys on the next one.